Hey guys, Program Made Easy here, and today we are going to be talking about loops, specifically the while loop in Java. And a loop is a very fundamental programming topic that you will get very used to and very familiar with throughout your programming experience. So, a loop is a block of code which executes the said block of code until a specified condition is met. And you want to use a loop when you want to execute code several times, and you do this to save you the time of writing redundant code, right? So you don't want to just sit there writing the same thing over and over. Okay, so what does the while loop look like in Java? So we're going to use that while keyword, and then we're going to have an open and closing parentheses. This is where our condition is actually going to go. We'll specify that said condition later. And then we need an open and closing bracket, which specifies the start and the end of our code block. Okay, so, like I said, we're gonna have to specify a condition inside of here. So if you remember, we're basically just gonna do similar, exact same thing, a Boolean expression, um, inside of our loop, inside of our loop statement. So if you remember, we learned about incremental operators, relational operators, logical operators, arithmetic operators. So we're gonna put these operators that we learned they're gonna be very handy while we're crafting our loops. So we want to print the numbers 0 to 10 to the screen. So the first thing we need to do is create a variable that we are going to increment. We'll call it num, and we'll have it equal 0. And then inside of our loop, we're going to need to check while the num is less than 10, right? Because we want to make sure that it's less than 10. So if we do that, and then if we print that variable out, right now if we ran it as it is, it would be an infinite loop, right? Because this is never incremented. We never use that incremental operator. So this would be stuck in an infinite loop, just printing 0 over and over and over and over. And we can see that actually if we run this. As you see, it just runs infinitely forever, right? So we need to terminating condition. So if we do num++ here, and then we rerun this program, we're going to get it and we're going to see it print 0 through 9, right? Because we weren't inclusive of that last value 10. In order for us to be inclusive, remember we're going to need to do that less than or equal to operator. Then if we run this again, we're going to see that it prints to the screen 0 through 10. Okay, now remember we used a post increment here. So if we were to print out to the screen outside of this num, we're actually going to see the number 11 instead of 10. And the reason that I'm going to print this out one more time outside of the loop is just so that you guys see that when this code is executed, how the compiler runs the code is it's going to, it's going to get our variable and we're going to enter the statement. And we're going to run through this statement. Like we're just going to keep running through the statement until until this condition is met, right? And then once this condition is met, once num is equal to 10, then we're going to um, exit out of this loop, right? We're going to exit out of the loop. After it's equaled 10, we're going to run through the loop one more time. It's going to increment to 11, and then we're going to break out of this loop, and we're going to come here, and we're going to print the screen 11. And let's just make sure that that happens here. And then as you see, it prints to the screen 11. So that is basically how loops work in Java, guys, the while loop, how it works. So it's going to run through this block of code as until the condition is met. So let's say we wanted to do the numbers 0 to 15, right? Then all we would have to do is change that and we would rerun this and it would print to 15 and then we would get 16 because of this, right? And I mean, we can count down. We can, if we wanted to count down, we can do something like this and have it while num is greater than 1, right? And then we print out to the screen and we see that it prints all the way down. And if I wanted it to be inclusive of 1, I'd need to do that equals. And as you see, it prints down, counts down from 15 to 1. Alright guys, so that goes over the while loop in Java. Stay tuned, we're going to be learning about for loops next, and then covering arrays and strings in more depth. This was Programming Made Easy. Please subscribe for more, like the video, and leave a comment to help me improve this channel. Thank you.